Hey everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make railings and create a custom baluster. So let's begin. I'm going to start by opening level 2. And the first thing I'm going to do is you'll notice that these rails here on the ramp, when you create a ramp, rails will automatically come attached to it. But since we made a floor here, we have to add railings to it. So what we're going to do is go to Architecture, Rails. Now I can just draw in the path where the rail will go. I'm going to start by continuing where this rail starts. Do the same for the other side. And you'll notice that there's an error comes up because you can't have a railing. You can't have a railing that's not connected like this. So I'm gonna delete this one. Click OK. And now I just have to repeat the railing for the other side. Or we can check. Yes, we can check and see that that railing is there. And it's attached. Now let's go back to level 2. And there we go. Now we've completed tracing the railing. And the next thing we're going to do is edit this railing. So it's what we want. So to start up, I'm just going to click one of the rails. I'm going to click Edit Type. I'm going to duplicate. And I'm going to call it Handrail 2. And this is the handrail that we're going to be customizing and will then change into the rest of the railings to become Handrail 2. The first thing we're going to do is change the height to 4 feet. So now handrail 2 is automatically 4 feet. And I'm going to click the rest of the rails here. I'm going to make that handrail 2. See, now that increases. And I'm going to do the same for the 2 handrails over here. Now they're all handrail 2. Now we're going to click the handrail again. I'm going to edit type because now we have to add a baluster. So once you do edit type, I'm going to click baluster placement. And what you would do is you would click baluster family, and you could choose what type of baluster you wanted. But let's say the one you wanted was not already loaded into Revit, which is likely. There aren't many options. So I'm going to close out of this, cancel that. And what I'm going to do is go to Insert, Load Family, and I already had balusters put up, but so you find it, it would automatically show up as US Imperial, would probably be the first thing. Then we would go to Railings, Baluster, and then there's a whole bunch of options to choose from. There's a few custom ones that are already made. There's round, square, lots of different types. For us, we're going to be using baluster round. So I'm going to click open. So now, if we go down to families here at the bottom, we go to railings, baluster round. Yes, now baluster round, that's all there. It wasn't there before. And that's how you load families into Revit as well. Even if you don't want to use it for railings, for other things you may need, that is how you would load a family into Revit. And really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and open the baluster. Just to show you what it looks like in here, there's different views. it'll show you top view, circle, 1 inch, which is already what we want. You could change it in 3D view here. I just want to pull this up to show you that, let's say when you do your bridge, you decide you don't want to have just a circle. You could have it as a square, or you can customize it. If you want to customize it, you can pull up any family. Like, it doesn't have to be this one. Any family that you think is close to what you want. And let's say I want to add a square base to this. What I could do is I could go to create, extrude. Let's say I want to have a square at the bottom, so I'm going to change the sides here. It's already at 4. I'm going to click. Basically, I'm just drawing a shape. There, now that's squares around it, and I click check. If we go to the 3D view, you'll see that, there we go, I can now add this little base here. This is just an example of one way to customize your baluster, but it can be any way your group wants, or if you want to keep it simple, that's also fine, but I'm just showing you how to customize your baluster if that is what you want. But for this tutorial, or at least for the sketches that were already made, the baluster is just a simple round 1 inch thick, so I'm going to delete that, and we're just going to use this baluster. So now I can close out of these tabs. Okay, so now we're back to our original model. I'm going to click rail, and I'm going to go to baluster placement, click the down arrow. I want round 1 inch, and you're going to repeat that. I want all of these to be round 1 inch. The next one to do is space. I'm going to change that to 1 inch, and same here, just to let Revit know how big your model is. So just whatever it says here, or whatever is the maximum thickness of your baluster, you would put that in space, positive and negative. And then distance from previous, that is how many or how far apart the balusters are from each other, and I'm going to change that to 6 inches, and I'm going to click apply, and I click apply, and there we go. Now we have our balusters in place. If we zoom in, yep, you'll see that we have our balusters, but next thing you notice is that these balusters are centered right across the floor, which doesn't make sense because half of them is hanging off to the side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click one of these, and I'm going to offset it by, I want to bring it in by 2 inches. So I'm going to click apply, but if you notice, it went outside of the path, and we want it to go inside, so it, physically makes sense. If that does happen, you just click this arrow, and that brings it all in. Then I'm going to repeat that here. You gotta look for the arrow. And repeat it again with these 2 rails. And there we go. Now we have our finished rail, and we've created balusters along the bridge. However, something you may notice if you zoom in here is that since we offsetted this, these rails now want to go in further to connect, but we don't want to do that. We want to have 2 separate rails here. So what we're going to do is first go to edit path, go to top view. There's no easy way to split a rail into 2 different sections, so what we're going to have to do is just delete this portion here and then redraw a new portion below it. See, that's already not sticking out anymore. I'm going to actually go back to the level 1 plans. Add a railing. You got to make sure to, at each point you have to draw a root nail, redraw the rail, so there should be 3 different sections here. Now we go to the 3D view. Change that to handrail 2. But you also notice that it's flat now, it's not connecting to this bridge, so we just hit the rail, pick new host, select the ramp, and just checking to make sure everything looks right. And it does. Check this corner. Yes, it's back to looking like 2 separate rails. And that is the finished rail